Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, proud to support the mission of KPBS and privileged to serve San Diego clients. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, helping homeowners maintain drain, heating, and cooling systems since 1978. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening. It's Friday, February 12th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Unconstitutional witch hunt. That's what Donald Trump's defense team is calling the impeachment trial of the former president. Still, the defense spent the day arguing against the charge by Democrats that Trump incited an insurrection. Nadia Romero reports from Washington.
It is constitutional cancel culture.
Former President Donald Trump's defense team coming out swinging.
It has become very clear that the House Democrats hate Donald Trump.
Arguing the Constitution is on Trump's side.
The article of impeachment now before the Senate is an unjust and blatantly unconstitutional act of political vengeance.
Lawyers say the then president's speech was protected under the First Amendment. Still, they say he promoted peace before the violence at the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
The defense team accusing impeachment managers of using misleading video in order to argue Trump incited violence.
Words matter, they told you. But they selectively edited the president's words over and over again.
The defense also accuses Democrats of advocating for violence against Trump.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Trump's team confident they have the votes to acquit the former president, only taking a few hours to present their case. Despite the expected outcome, Democrats say the damage to Donald Trump is already done.
I think the power of their case will be a lasting testament that will do damage to President Trump, perhaps has done already significant damage to President Trump.
In Washington, Nadia Romero, KPBS News.
We're carrying PBS NewsHour's coverage of the Senate impeachment trial in its entirety on KPBS2. You can also listen on KPBS Radio, or you can live stream at kpbs.org. San Diego County is facing a vaccine shortage because of a delayed shipment of Moderna. It's now expected to arrive on Tuesday. And in the meantime, the county's largest vaccination supersite at Petco Park will be closed on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. All appointments for those days will be automatically rescheduled.
Folks should get an email later today with a new appointment day and time. It's an email, and they don't have to go into our MyChart system to make it easy as possible for them. And remember, everyone who was at Petco got Moderna. So if they are able to get a vaccine elsewhere, they need to make sure they get Moderna for the second dose.
We're told the superstations in the South County and East County have enough supplies to get through Monday. Other county vaccination sites and the North County Superstation will be able to meet appointments for second doses, as well as a limited supply of first doses. County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says that could be the case for a while.
We have a lot of folks that are coming due for a second dose. And because we do the second dose first, I think for several weeks there will be very limited availability of first dose, and so I think that'll impact our ability to move into the next tier.
The next tier includes those who work in emergency services, childcare and education, and food and agriculture. Fletcher says hundreds of thousands of people who have already received one shot will need to get their second one. Then more first dose appointments in the current tier will open up. The vaccine shortage didn't stop the latest supersite from opening today. As KPBS North County reporter Jacob Ayer shows us, instead of crowds heading to Del Mar for horse racing or the fair, they're lining up for a shot in the arm.
Scripps Health, San Diego County, and the Del Mar Fairgrounds partnered to open a COVID-19 vaccination superstation at the fairgrounds today. It's the 5th super site in the region. The Superstation will provide drive-through and walk-through services on an appointment-only basis to anyone eligible to receive a shot under county guidelines. Scripps CEO Chris Van Gorder administered the first vaccination.
We're only doing 288 today just to make sure we get all of our systems down before we increase. We'll do another 588 on Saturday and Sunday, and then we will slowly start ramping up to as much as 5,000 or more per day. So this is a great venue. It all depends a little bit on the COVID vaccine and how much we can get.
Free parking will be available to those using the walkthrough option. Current plans call for the station to open initially from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Friday and from 8 a.m. to noon on Saturday and Sunday. Scripps says this site is not impacted this weekend by the delivery delay that will shut down the Petco Park Superstation Sunday through Tuesday. Longer hours and more days of operation will be added as more vaccine doses become available.
They should be able to move very quickly in terms of vaccines, and we also have the capability that should the vaccine supply be there and the county needs it, we can expand into additional buildings here without them having to find another location.
Along with the 5 superstations, San Diego County has 17 community pods to provide the shots. The issue now is vaccine supply.
It's very tight right now in San Diego County. In fact, I know there's an emergency call this morning from the county to the state trying to get more vaccine down here. And as you probably know, the LA Dodger Stadium had to close down yesterday because they ran out of vaccine. So we're blessed. We have enough right now for the next few days, and we hope we'll get resupplied.
So far, 15.5% of San Diegans aged 16 and over have received at least one of the 2 shots required to develop antibody protection against the virus. Around 3.3% of the population over the age of 16 is fully vaccinated. Appointment slots for the Mar Fairgrounds site will be posted once they are available on the county's vaccination website at vaccinationssuperstationsd.com. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
And we have more information at kpbs.org. Just click on the Vaccines tab on our homepage and you'll find a searchable map with clinic locations and links to make an appointment if you are eligible. It's what every parent dealing with virtual learning wants to know. When can my child return to the classroom? KPBS education reporter Joe Hung explains what the latest guidance on reopening schools from the CDC and governor means for San Diego families.
San Diego Unified School District officials are now saying that a return to full in-person learning is all but certain in the fall, and they're increasingly optimistic that more students will be able to come to campuses in the coming months, even if it's just part-time. Richard Barrera is the president of the school board at the district.
We're very confident, Joe, that we can open in the fall. We're very confident that we will be able to have an expanded summer program. And if trends continue the way that we're seeing right now, we believe that we're going to have more of our students on campus in the spring.
He applauded yesterday's announcement by County Board Supervisor Nathan Fletcher that the county will begin offering vaccinations to teachers within the next 3 weeks. Barrera said vaccinating teachers is crucial.
We need to get the virus under control in our community, and the case rates need to be in decline, is kind of the second key part of that pathway to reopening. And the third is we need to vaccinate our educators.
Meanwhile, Governor Newsom's office today launched its interactive map showing which districts in the state are operating in-person, hybrid, or distance learning only. Also on Friday, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released its much-anticipated guidance for reopening schools. The guidance introduces its own colored tier system. Counties in the blue tier for low transmission or the yellow tier for moderate transmission are encouraged to reopen for in-person learning even if teachers aren't vaccinated. San Diego County as a whole is currently in the yellow tier, but parts of the county, especially in the South Bay, remain in the orange tier for their higher transmission rates. Barrera said San Diego Unified officials will consult with UCSD experts over the weekend about how the district will respond to the new CDC guidelines. Joe Hong, KPBS News.
Nearly 1,100 students at the University of San Diego are under orders not to leave campus following a spike in COVID cases. KPBS reporter John Carroll says there appears to be one major cause behind the increase.
As COVID numbers fall in San Diego County, a stark reminder of the virus's ability to spread if people don't follow the now all too familiar safety rules.
Hello, fellow Toreros. I need your help.
USD President James Harris issuing an urgent message today to the USD community. Harris makes clear in the first few seconds of this video why his message is urgent.
Our numbers in the past 2 weeks have grown to levels that if they continue on this trajectory, will require us to make some tough decisions about the future of the spring semester.
Here's the concerning number. Figures from USD show between January 31st and February 6th, there were 169 new COVID cases, 96 from students who live on campus and 72 from students who commute to school. USD has 2 buildings to house students who are quarantining and contingency plans to use off-campus housing if they run out of room on campus. In an echo of the situation at San Diego State several months ago, Harris says the primary cause for the spike is off-campus parties.
It is clear from our tracing efforts that parties and other social gatherings off campus are occurring. These events, coupled with the disregard by some for our health and safety measures, both on and off campus, are the primary reasons for the recent surge in cases.
The order for students to remain on campus except for essential reasons like medical appointments or getting groceries lasts until the end of this month. President Harris also had a message for seniors.
I want to hand you your diploma in person this spring and celebrate with you and your family members your many accomplishments. But to have a better chance of achieving that goal, we need to act now.
The USD COVID dashboard does hold a bit of good news that message is getting through. The numbers fell from 169 to 54 in the week that's just ending. John Carroll, KPBS News.
The best way to reach those most impacted by COVID-19 is to meet them where they live. As KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman shows us, a new pilot program from the state and county aims to do just that.
It's very grassroots, moms, neighbor to neighbor.
Miriam Rodriguez with the San Diego Latino Health Coalition has been working as a promotora or community health worker in City Heights for 15 years now.
Promotora work is so important. It's part of our culture. You are welcome. You're here. How can I help you?
Gracias. Latinos make up the majority of coronavirus cases in San Diego County, but they are not getting majority of vaccinations. Officials hope that by sending teams out to areas like City Heights and the South Bay, that will change.
We go to different supermarkets all over the county, all the promotoras. Not only are we listening to each other, but we're encouraging them. Hey, I already had the vaccine last week. I'm feeling great. Go ahead. Do you need help signing up? Can someone in your family help you sign up?
Rodriguez says she is hearing some fears about the vaccination and potential side effects, but she says many here want to know when a large-scale vaccination site will be coming to City Heights.
When is it going to be next for our people? Because they're ready. They want to do it.
Rodriguez says some people in this area do not have easy access to transportation, so officials have to bring vaccines to the community. She also says not everyone is on social media and some seniors are not online, so taking the vaccination message directly to them is key.
We share our own experience and then we let them know as well, hey, this is a flyer so you can know more in your language how the face is, but at the same time, call me. Send me a message. I'm here for you.
The San Diego Latino Health Coalition is one of many groups working to make sure everyone who is eligible for a vaccination appointment is able to get one.
We just want to make sure that they are actually getting the information because they might not be getting it, and we're trying to close that gap.
Sanitizers, masks, and wipes.
The Chicano Federation is also sending out teams across the county to deliver vaccination information. They are also continuing to hand out supply kits with masks and sanitizers via appointment only. Seniors 65 and over plus healthcare workers can book vaccination appointments through the county's website. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
The Biden administration is moving to end the Remain in Mexico policy. An estimated 25,000 asylum seekers waiting for their next immigration court hearings will be allowed into the U.S. while their cases proceed. The admissions will start slowly next week at 3 yet-to-be-named border crossings. Vaccine supply is an ongoing challenge to reach the county's goal to vaccinate 70% of the region's population. The Biden administration says it will be sending direct vaccine shipments to community clinics in an effort to boost equity. KPBS health reporter Taryn Mento shows us a local community clinic's efforts to launch a new vaccination site.
The neon duct tape Victoriano Diaz lays on the ground is not an arbitrary decision.
Regular tape is going to get dirty. You're not going to be able to see it on this pavement once people start standing on it. So fluorescent tape seems to work well for us.
It's a tip picked up after nearly a year of ushering socially distanced crowds through COVID-19 testing sites operated by Family Health Centers of San Diego. The nonprofit is the largest network of community clinics serving San Diegans.
where we'll have a patient wait in line.
The carefully spaced spots will safely direct up to 750 daily visitors to a COVID-19 vaccination. But Diaz and his team must first draw out and plan out every detail before the first dose.
There's all kinds of small little idiosyncrasies that people aren't aware of that we need to plan for. So simple things like your vaccination card. Like where is this vaccination card going to be given to the person and who's going to write it?
This meticulous planning of a site is critical to reaching San Diego County's vaccination goal. Officials say every shot counts to vaccinate 1.8 million San Diegans by July. And community clinics are key to reaching underserved communities most affected by COVID-19.
So this is an aerial shot of our Logan Heights Family Health Centers, which is our largest site that we're going to be providing vaccinations.
Half of the rectangle lot already holds a testing site. The team must plot out how to weave vaccine recipients through 4 zones designed to control bottlenecks.
So we want the patient to still have a good experience. We want them to just be standing here waiting. So we want them to have a seating area that they're going to wait if we do have to take a little bit more time with the patient. We're going to give them that vaccine.
But Diaz is already planning for long lines stretching along the sidewalk, like they saw for testing.
We would have 50 to 60 people that were here at 5 o'clock in the morning.
The clinic zip code has one of the highest rates of COVID-19 infections in the county, but the site, with a clear view of the Coronado Bay Bridge, is also in an area that has the lowest vaccinations.
So we're looking at maybe having a couple of different points of where people are going to be standing. So maybe this side of the fence might be patients that are going to be scheduled for that first hour, and then maybe on that side of the fence will be another line for the patients to be scheduled for that next hour.
They also need to recruit and train the volunteers that will pre-screen, register, and guide patients through the orchestrated maze. And they'll have to develop a system to track the 15-minute observation period for dozens of patients with various vaccination times.
Who's going to be clocking the 15 minutes when people are sitting down, and how do we know that person's 15 minutes just started?
And they have to find secure storage for supplies when not in use.
You know, there is talk about maybe putting a storage shed on site also to store non-medical supplies, because that's another consideration, is how much equipment that we need to have there.
Each day they'll reflect on the lessons learned, because they have to make sure every single daily patient returns in a few weeks for their second dose.
We're going to come up to the chair and we're going to introduce ourselves, thank them for taking the time and the courage to get their vaccine today.
The extra focus on patient experience is what Diaz hopes will bring them back for round 2. The site was set to launch early next week, but they received word on Thursday that the incoming vaccine supply wouldn't be enough. Family Health Centers hopes shipments from the Biden administration's new program will reach them the week after next. Taryn Mento, KPBS News.
And this is part of our ongoing coverage on the road to 1.8 million vaccinated San Diegans. In our next story on this site, we'll dig into the on-site storage and handling of the vaccine. CVS is now taking vaccination appointments for people 65 and older. SDSU's Miro Kopik has more on the drugstore chain's rollout in the Friday Business Report.
CVS and Walgreens are the first two. There are 19,000 of these locations. CVS is only starting with 350 locations in 10 states. They're piloting it to make sure that they're able to handle the capacity. And one of the states is California. And they're clear they will not accept, neither pharmacy will accept a walk-in. Walgreens has an undisclosed number of locations they're starting with across 17 states, but California is not one of those states in their initial push. And the reason why they're testing is the two vaccines that are available, the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines, require really incredible refrigeration, of which not all the pharmacies are capable of accommodating. By the end of February, you're going to start seeing a wider net of CVS and Walgreens, and you're going to see Costco's, Ralph's, and Vons coming up. So, but the only thing is no walk-ins right now. Go online and make your appointment on those two websites.
The Internal Revenue Service began accepting tax returns today. The IRS had to delay things this year because it dedicated resources to the second round of economic relief payments late last year. The deadline to file is April 15th. You can get a 6-month extension, but if you owe taxes, they are due in April no matter what. Reminder, if you received jobless benefits and didn't have federal tax withheld, you could owe Uncle Sam. Every bit helps, that is, when it comes to rain, and the county got a few showers today. Not a drenching rain, but enough to water the lawn and the flowers and runoff from homes like this one in Poway. Also made for some slick roads. So what's ahead for the Valentine's weekend? Well, here's meteorologist Melissa Constanzer.
We've got a cooler weekend on tap for us, but there could be a sprinkle possible, mostly as we head into Saturday night. And honestly, it's unlikely that we'll see anything, but there's that small chance that I'll leave in the forecast. Otherwise, some gusty winds. In fact, those are going to be a concern as we go through a good chunk of the weekend until early Sunday morning. These wind warnings are in place and wind watches are in place. So be ready because, again, it will be pretty gusty. Tonight, temperatures, well, chilly. Let's face it, we're talking 46 in Oceanside, 52 in San Diego, Mount Laguna, lower 40s, which isn't too bad there. But we do kind of have this cooler pattern trying to work its way in as we head into tomorrow. And that's because there's a storm track really taking place through Oregon, cutting into the interior Southwest. We miss out on a lot of the activity as far as moisture, but we will get some extra clouds from the whole setup, which is why we're looking at a mostly cloudy setup here for tomorrow. 63 for the high in San Diego, but you can tell there's some gusty winds here. Borrego Springs coming in at 74. And with Futurecast, as we go through tomorrow, we will find, again, not only those extra clouds, but a little bit of moisture possibly as we head into tomorrow night. You'll see possibly a sprinkle here, mostly trying to put it into Mexico as we head into tomorrow night, but there is that small chance that we could see a brief bit of rain. Beyond that, though, the cool lasts through the interior. Well, we see temperatures kind of return towards average. Still a bit breezy through some of our canyons, but overall, I think it's a quieter trend as we get towards the end of the weekend with some brighter weather. So more sunshine returning for Sunday and temperatures beginning to warm up a little bit as we head into the middle of next week. And that's true in our inland locations, which are going to be cool for tomorrow. Temperatures only in the mid-60s, mostly cloudy skies. As we transition into the mountains, a little bit windy in a few locations too, so keep that in mind for the weekend, but temperatures climbing their way through the 40s next week, and then the deserts adding some more sunshine as we work our way towards Tuesday and Wednesday. For KPBS News, I'm meteorologist Melissa Constanzer.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, the defense's turn. Former President Trump's team makes its case for acquitting him. Coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
It's the Lunar New Year and plenty of local events are underway. There's a collaborative celebration hosted by the Japanese Friendship Garden and other local organizations. You'll learn how different countries celebrate this significant holiday. The San Diego Tet Festival is online this year with all kinds of activities taking place tomorrow. You can watch the live stream on Facebook or at sdtet.com. And by the way, it is the Year of the Ox, a time for us to wish for good fortune, happiness, and health. This Valentine's Day, try something a little bit different. You can sign up for an immersive experience of art, music, comics, science, fact, and fiction, history, and current events in celebration of Black History Month. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando has this preview of Sunday's free online event.
When Marvel's Black Panther movie came out in 2018, it opened many people's eyes to Afrofuturism.
It can be as simple as speculative art, science fiction, comics, music that center the Black experience in the future, or it could be something that is more about using the imagination to imagine a better world in the future that not only centers but also enhances the Black experience.
Lawana Richmond is the organizer for Afrofuturism Dream Tank, taking place virtually this Sunday.
We'll have music, art, poetry, and some, a teeny bit of educational content, but not so much that I think it'll be burdensome.
Back in 2018, the Afrofuturism Lounge debuted outside Comic-Con. Richmond used it to share her passion for the topic.
Sometimes things are really hard to talk about when you address them head on, or you only can see what has happened. And if you're thinking about dare I say it, radical change, sometimes you have to also be able to leverage the imagination. And Afrofuturism gives me the space within to have conversations with people to help them understand that really the world that we live in is the world that we all created together, and we can also together co-create a better society and a better world.
She's asking people to gather a few items for the free event.
At the very beginning, we'll have an art workshop, and that's where those materials will come into play.
Bringing an open mind is also essential.
Because one of the things about science fiction, comics, speculative fiction, is that there is a request for people to suspend disbelief and move away from what isn't possible into the realm of imagining what is.
Artists like Max Moses will share his work and ideas to help inspire people.
My hope is that people will have hope and inspiration, but also ownership, because it's always easy to externalize change and think everything would be great if only those people over there or that person over there did X, Y, Z, when really there are also things that we as individuals can do or do collectively.
Afrofuturism Dream Tank is a free event offered through UC San Diego Craft Center this Sunday at 1 p.m. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, proud to support the mission of KPBS and privileged to serve San Diego clients. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, helping homeowners maintain drain, heating, and cooling systems since 1978. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley. And by the following: and by viewers like you. Thank you.